since we are in basketball, I know we had a talk about Iowa. Was our last one before or after the Drake game?
It was after the Drake game.
So
it was before Northern Colorado.
Okay, so we got a couple of wins here. Western Carolina, we got a win versus Northern Colorado.
That's a tournament team, no matter how you slice
from
it.
Last year, yes. Yeah. But this is also a team that we have that doesn't want to help defense, doesn't want to play on that end of the floor. We can shoot threes all day. It's not going to matter if they're going to put up just as many points as we do.
Yesterday was interesting because Royce White, it kind of shifted away from him a little bit. It was more guard. Bab had 20, 21?
Allen had 23.
Okay. Bab had...
He had 11.9.
Okay.
It was pretty.
Did he go in first half?
Yeah,
he's off to a good start.
Yeah, so far, and as my preview said, I don't know who's going to lead the team in scoring. Each and every night could be someone different. So far, it's been Royce twice, Chris Allen once, and Chris Babb once. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to see Scotty up there once. I mean, in the exhibition game, Edgin went off for 24, so you'll see him up there sooner or later. McGee, I feel confident that he'll be up there at least once. He'll get hot one game and knock down 5 or 6 3-pointers and be up there. So we need to play defense. So we're not gonna win in the Big 12 without putting up some defensive numbers. And right now teams are just shooting way too well against us. We need to do something on that side of the floor. Hoiberg knows it. He'll get it done. I'm not really worried. It'll be a good test here coming up against both Rice and Providence, and then UNI. So
that's a good stretch.
Tough run there. I think you got 3 undefeated teams right there, and getting decent teams at that. Let's switch over. I know we had a big game on Sunday versus
Speaking
Creighton.
of teams not playing much defense, anytime you allow, I don't know what Creighton ended up shooting. It was in the 60% range.
That's too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good a team is. They should never be shooting over 60%.
Every time I turn around, Doug McDermott was just a man among boys.
Kid's good.
Yeah,
for everyone who said that he wasn't going to be able to play in the Big 12, I think they're wrong. I think he could have played.
He could have played Big 12. Yeah, he could have helped Iowa. I mean, he definitely is the type of body Iowa could use right now.
I'm sure you and I would love to have that right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, Ben Jacobson. Unfortunately, we let Matt go and Son followed. What are you going to do? So, a little bit about that game. What was besides
they
letting
sucked.
them?
We'll go back to some traditional Iowa football speak, like against Michigan State. No, couldn't play defense. Offense looked a little out of sorts. It was one of those things where the first couple games things went pretty easy.
Yeah.
If they wanted to go inside, they could go inside. If they were running, they were playing some defense.
Folks, Creighton's big, so
and Creighton's not bad.
Yeah, well, not bad. Yeah, their big guys aren't bad. I'm saying they're big. They've got 4 guys, I think 6'9" or above.
Yeah, Echenique's a big body.
Will Artino, Doug McDermott. I mean, they've got some big boys. So when he's sitting there saying, Iowa couldn't get inside on them like they haven't, there's a reason for that. I mean, it wasn't just all Iowa playing bad.
Well, no, and Iowa doesn't have any large bodies at all. I mean, the ones they have that are big. Well, he's tall, but he's 6'7". My leg, he's like 140.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. He needs to bulk up a little bit. And he had some skill. They had a couple of decent stretches in there where they put together a basket and a stop, and then they turn it over or miss a 3, and got to get the rhythm going. They will. A loss to Creighton's nothing to be ashamed. Granted, at Wells Fargo in front of a really good crowd. It was great to see all the people show up in Des Moines. I don't know what the final tally was, but I'd say there's at least 10 to 12,000 there.
I didn't hear a whole bunch when they were interviewing Greg McDermott on the radio. I had to step out of the car. But one of the last questions.
It was parked.
Yeah, it was. Good call. They asked. They said, "Are they going to have a instant replay monitor at the game?" And Mac had a good laugh with it. Good sport. He said, "Yes, we will make sure that there's an instant replay monitor there." For those of you who don't remember, Jamie Vanderbeeken's last second 3 at the well against Creighton. So I kind of like it. I think it's good for both Omaha. I think it's good for Des Moines, both Iowa State, and Creighton to do this. Try to do this. At the Well. I think it's a great venue to watch a basketball game. I think I know it's good for Creighton fans to kind of get out of Omaha for a weekend and see what Des Moines has to offer and watch their team and then head back. And
great for tourism.
Yeah. So. And I know there's a lot of Iowa fans that like to be able to not drive 2 hours to watch their Hawks play.
Exactly. That's much easier to go right down the street.
Yeah. But, you got any tough games coming up here?
Well, Iowa's got some big games coming up in about 2 weeks. Okay. They got the shootout, the ACC type, forget who they even play in that. I apologize, I wasn't prepared for that. But
I have some pretty decent questions here on CyHawkThoughts.
Look at that. But Iowa, they've got a chance. I mean, their toughest games outside of their challenge is going to be the in-state games. Okay. And they don't have a very challenging preseason schedule or pre-Big Ten schedule. Creighton, obviously, we see where that falls. But then when you've got
Clemson.
Clemson, I guess that's coming up. Was it 29th? So is it about Saturday, Monday?
Yeah, and then you go on a run after that, shortly after that, with all the in-state games, and that's where you'll be nice and tested. I'm not sure that Clemson's all that great this year.
Well, they try to match up.
They've lost to the Charleston Cougars. They've lost to Coastal Carolina. They beat the Citadel and beat Gardner-Webb.
Oh, Gardner-Webb.
They've had a tough schedule, folks, and they're 2-2. So, ACC Big Ten Challenge, I think it'll fall the Hawks' way this year. I'm predicting a Hawks win.
Hey, I like to hear that.
So, speaking of predictions, back to football. What do you think? Go for our predictions?
Let's do it, folks. So where are we now?
We are. Oh, excuse me there. Excuse me. We've been keeping track.
Chuck Long was on the team the last time Iowa beat Nebraska. He didn't play.
Listen to that. That's some good.
He was just hanging out.
That's all right.
He's a freshman.
Hang out. We don't care.
Yep.
So right now we've been keeping track of picks, sort of. I just went through, made sure we calculated everything correctly. I am currently sitting at 21-11.
That's pretty good.
I'll take it for the year. Chuck is trying to make a comeback at 13-19. So
trying and doing are two different things.
Yeah, and it's not going to help matters once you're this far behind. Even though I have been picking first lately to come back, because if I pick the same one you're going to pick, then you basically have to go against me every single time.
Yeah, that's a fact. But we still have the bowl extravaganza coming up. We got Army-Navy game coming up. We got Grambling and Southern game coming up. I smell a run, and I might be able to cut it to 3 or 4.
All right, sounds good. So we're doing some picks this week. Iowa State's got another tough game at Oklahoma. They're going to be a little ticked off that Baylor beat them. Things were kind of going their way when Oklahoma State, I don't know if they went. No, things were going their way when, I don't think things are ever going their way, actually. When Oklahoma State lost, Oklahoma thought they had a chance if they beat an undefeated Oklahoma State team to jump back in the mix. Oklahoma State lost, didn't do so well for Oklahoma. I'm not quite sure who lost first, if it was, I think it was Oregon. But I think they thought, okay, now we're back in it again because Oregon lost and Clemson lost. But no, they
that's
lost
just classic not showing up.
Yeah, so Robert Griffin and Baylor got them. Needless to say, it's a tough place to play. I don't care what Texas Tech did down there. Norman's going to be rocking. They're going to be a little disappointed. I think they're going to be ticked off. Next thing you know, they're going to get a big victory. I was talking to a guy today about the spread, 29, 28 points. I'm thinking we now have an Iowa State team that getting blown out should be in the 24-point range, not the 37-point range, in my opinion. I think that we finally taken that corner. We've got the athletes in there to keep it close. So I'm going to go something along the lines of 35-24 17.
Oklahoma. Okay. So I just want to point out, last week I wanted to pick Iowa State. I couldn't, but I did say 27
all. No, 27-24 Oklahoma. I know, and the field goal. I was going to bring that up today. That was a great pick last week. I will give that to Chuck. That was an absolutely wonderful pick.
I had it right on the nose, but we learned that you have to extend the goalposts all the way up. They run all the way to the sky.
And I do not for 1 second feel bad about that call. Iowa State had the exact same kick happen in the Independence Bowl against Alabama. Yeah. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that there's
years later, touche.
Yeah, no, not a touche, because Alabama was cheering for that thing to miss. They're 2-0 on kicks going right over the top. Well, so you know, Alabama, if they're cheering for a kick to be not good. Apparently this year, even if they're cheering for it to be good, it's not going in. But yeah, Alabama's
they're used to seeing field goals go awry.
So I'm not too upset that call happened, because it happened to us back in that Independence Bowl.
I would have had it right on the nose.
I was going to bring that up tonight, and you beat me to it. But yes, 27-24 was his pick. That field goal, if it goes in, is 27-24. Granted, Iowa State could have done something with it. Who knows? But if they didn't, it would have been a perfect pick.
Yep. We at least had it with a minute left. But, hey, Iowa State won. Awesome. I'm going this week. I think it's going reverse, and I'm going with the letdown theory. And I'm going 50-10 Oklahoma.
Okay.
I do think, to piggyback on your point, Iowa State is at a point where they shouldn't get blown out. I think, though, with this and, you know, in difference to some of their other games that they've had, you know, it's just going to be tough. It's at Oklahoma. I think turnovers are going to be a factor. If we go back to some of the previous episodes where, you know, you give your keys to success, obviously if there's no Iowa State turnovers, it's not 50-10. It's probably 35-17. It might even be a field goal or touchdown game. I'm going to say turnovers.
Since Barnett started, we haven't had the turnover games like we had when Janis was playing. So that's one good thing about Barnett. And talk about it. Name a quarterback that has started for Iowa State as a freshman, which has not been too many of those, and have been 3-0 in those 3 games against 2 top 25s and 1's top 5.
Austin Plain, did he start as a freshman or did he start as a sophomore?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone can say that they started as a freshman, played the 19th ranked team, beat them at their place, and then played the second ranked team, beat them at home.
Nah.
Yeah, that's, you know, he's bound to lose, but we can't be upset.
No, not at all.
Great run.
Absolutely.